This looks like it's been buried underground. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm starting and we're gonna do this differently because it's too much. It's too many things and I wanna swatch them all. I don't want to rush through this because it's such a huge undertaking. I say this like it's life or death. It's not, it's makeup palettes, but I want to swatch everything. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to potentially do this over the course of days. I'm just going to kind of grab a handful of eyeshadow or whatever palettes. We're going to take them downstairs where the light is good, where the light is, you know, like actual daylight. I'm going to swatch them all. We're going to make some decisions. Okay, we're downstairs. Also, it's so much cooler down here. It's so hot today. If you are just joining us for the first time and you're like, what's this all about? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to my declutter series. I'm Michaela. I was a beauty blogger in some way, shape or form for around 14 years. I've been making YouTube videos and I used to do really in-depth photo and written reviews of loads of new products. And just something happened along the way and I lost my love of new, you know? I still love makeup. I still love skincare. I love the beauty of it all, but I just don't want to have the newest stuff all the time. When I find something new, I don't want to have to buy 5 of them to review for you guys. It just kind of feels really wasteful and not even really what I want to do anymore. So with that in mind, I'm trying to reduce my collection to more of a manageable amount of stuff that I'm really actually loving using rather than the stuff that I've got right now. I mean, right now, for example, I just brought a handful of things. This is nowhere near all of it. This was just a handful of stuff that I could bring downstairs all in one go. I've got multiple naked palettes here and I think maybe I only use one of them. So let's start with this because I talked about this earlier on, not this specifically, but this idea earlier on in this series, and it's outlet shopping. I'm just the worst for this. Anything that is supposed to be kind of, oh, it's cheaper than it usually would be. Too Faced is a brand that I enjoy. I do like things from Too Faced, but I don't tend to buy a lot of stuff from them. I do like their eyeshadows. I have a couple of things from them. I don't buy a lot of things from Too Faced, but when they had this particular deal, it was really, really good. I think it was like 5 things for £25 or something. So for the price, for like less than this palette, I bought 5 things. So it was a good deal. But I wouldn't have bought this under any other circumstances. This is the Better Than Chocolate palette. Most of the colours in here I wouldn't use. I only bought this because it was a good deal, which is just one of the many things I'm trying to get out of. There's so many colours in here as well. Feel like they're just the same colour. So I'm going to do a swatch, but I can already tell you I'm not keeping this because I don't need it. It's pretty grey outside today, so I don't know what the light's going to be like in terms of swatches, but hopefully you can at least see everything clearly. Too Faced's decent for colour payoff. I don't think you can get much better than Too Faced and Urban Decay, but like I say, the colours just don't make sense for me. Another palette with exactly this problem for me is the Naked Ultraviolet. I think I was sent a couple of these. I've got the Naked Ultraviolet, the Cherry, and the Wild West. I don't believe that I purchased these, which goes to show, you know, I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily bought these colours for me, although these ones are really nice. To the point of like, maybe could I depot some of these? No, I don't need to do that because I've got millions of others. I don't need to do that. That's crazy. So that's why I have so many maybe that I'm going to show you that I wouldn't necessarily pick for my colours. But that Better Than Chocolate one, I purchased that. It was a good deal and I got carried away. Now I'm thinking about the Cherry one. I feel like I did like these colours on me. The Wild West. The Wild West is kind of along the lines of that chocolate. You know, the blues is where it throws me off. Like I would never wear a lot of blue, and this is a lot of blue. It's too much blue. Okay, well, just to kind of cut down on time, I'm going to put the swatches up on screen now of the Wild West. So this is the kind of neutrals and blues. There's, again, nothing wrong with any of these because Urban Decay makes some of my absolute favourite eyeshadows. I just can't keep them all. The Ultraviolet, which I love purples, and they've got some nice neutrals in here, which is, you know, nice to have. but purple does not look good on my eyes. The cherry one, I'm kind of tempted to keep. I'm going to hold on to this for now because I do remember it looking quite nice when I wore it in a video, but I don't know if I've ever worn it again. So I'm going to hold on to this for now for, like, I'll wear it again. If I don't like it, then I'll toss it. Do we need to swatch this one? I think we should, just for nostalgia's sake. But also, I pulled this out of my, like, day-to-day makeup stuff. So this is staying. This is my original Naked palette. My original Naked palette that came with the double-ended, I was going to say brush, but they all came with double-ended brushes after this. The double-ended liner, the double-ended liner. This came out while I was actually working for Urban Decay. And the reason that it kept going out of stock and they couldn't bring it back quick enough because it was such a thing, like, oh my God, like, it went out of stock straight away and it would be weeks and weeks and weeks, was they were having manufacturing issues with the double-ended pencils. And that's why the pencils were swapped for the brushes. It wasn't the palettes, it was everything else. I personally loved this original packaging. It's like a cardboard velour. In this current eco-conscious climate, you would kind of think this would be what they would be kind of working towards. I know they relaunched this recently and so many of you messaged me to tell me about it, because when they said it's retiring, it's going away, we're getting rid of the original Naked palette, I was like, that makes absolutely no sense unless they plan on bringing it back in like a big flashy way. I thought they were going to do it next year, because next year I think it'll be 15 years since the original Naked palette released. I am like 99.9% sure, because I started my YouTube channel in 2010. I started working for Urban Decay very late in 2010. It was like Christmas time, and that was when the Naked palette launched. It might have been 2011. I remember it being like we went on a visit somewhere and they were like, something's coming, it's gonna be big. And it was the Naked palette. It was either late 2010, early 2011 when the Naked palette launched. Either way, it's too early to relaunch it. Like, they retired it like last year practically, and then this year they're like, it's back. I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised they didn't wait a little bit longer. But I haven't looked at what the packaging's like. Presumably it's exactly the same. But if it's like these, the plasticky ones, then I'll be surprised, because this is like a lot of like hard plastic that's going to be hard to recycle, whereas this, I mean, there's going to be plastic involved, but it's mostly coated cardboard, and I feel like it's probably better for the environment. I get that, you know, this got dirty and it got scuffed up and it didn't look as nice for as long, but still, you know, I think you could kind of angle it as this is eco-friendly rather than cheaper packaging. I think people would go for it. The original packaging Naked palette. Anyway, that's just me. A little bit of nostalgia for you. The original, not getting rid of it. Absolutely no need to, because it's the best. Well, not the best. Not the best. I have another the best, but that has also been discontinued. I've got a lot of MAC palettes like this, like hanging around. I think I'm going to do this maybe as a separate video, because there's lots of single shadows and some of them are a little bit smashed up. So let's just say I'm going to keep the MAC ones that I've got for now. Like I said at the beginning, I want to swatch everything before I say yay or nay. And I'm not going to do that today. So we're going to put the MAC to one side, but let's just call it keep and move on. I've got this New Classics from e.l.f., which actually I really, really liked this. I used it quite a lot. This one's got a smashed one in it as well. It's a really nice mix of colours. For the price point, this is probably my favourite palette, but this isn't reason to keep something anymore. I only have one face. I'm not keeping things to show you lower cost alternatives anymore. I'm not buying things to show you lower cost alternatives anymore. I'm not looking for dupes. I'm just looking for things that work for my face, and I'm going to share things that I enjoy, that I find along the way. And so with that in mind, I am going to get rid of this, but there's nothing wrong with it. I actually do really, really like this. And if you were looking for something in like at a lower price point that still blends really, really nicely, they all mix together really nicely, it's lasted really well, it hasn't all dried out, and I've had this for maybe 2 years at this point. You can make a lot of different looks with this. It's a really a really steady palette. If this is still available, hopefully. A lot of the stuff that I've got, I've just had so long. It's, who knows? Okay, these are fun. I don't think I need to keep both of them, but they are fun Christmas palettes from Bobbi Brown. I don't use all of the shades in them, as you can see, but they have got some amazing glitters. So this is In a Flash eyeshadow palette, which some of these I don't even think I've ever touched. It's, you see, they've always got blues. Whenever it's like a nighttime palette, it's always got a smoky blue. Everything's very cool toned. And then these ones as well. But the sparkles are out of this world. However, if you did see the video that I did, I mean, these are very thin. I could keep them. But if you did see the video that I did on the individual eye stuff, do I need to keep? I'm just going to swatch these. I'm going to swatch these live for you because you have to see these in motion. There are some gorgeous glitters in each of these, and I don't know whether or not I can bring myself to get rid of them. At the same time, I don't know how often I've truly used them. There's a sparkly white here that, how sparkly is that white? It's kind of a little sparkly, but it's not much. Right, this is one of them. If I was going to get rid of one of them, it would be this, because these feel very blah, right? We'll go outside in a second. And then the other one, I think the other one is like where it's at. But again, this is why we're swatching, because maybe I'm remembering them as more exciting than they actually are. Because I don't need to keep everything. It's so hard. It's so hard getting rid of things. I know it shouldn't be, but it is. It is. I know I'm not alone in this, but at the same time, I know that some of you will be thinking like, this is crazy. It's not difficult. It is. Some people have a harder time parting with inanimate objects than others. I am such a person. Right, so they're good metallics. They are good metallics, and there's definitely some sparkle in there, but I think maybe we need to go outside. Honestly, I think my memory of these was really special. And now I'm glad I've swatched them because just not that special. Glitter and sparkle tend to really excel in low light conditions. And so out in the daylight is not necessarily where it would be its best anyway, but still, even then, like I can see a nice sparkly something to here, but I have kept some really gorgeous glitters and some toppers. So I'm gonna put these in the to-go pile. And this is why I would have seriously, if we'd have just been like at first sight, I'd have gone, oh, well, I'm keeping these because what if I need them? I've had these for years and years and years. And now I'm thinking about it. I maybe used them twice and I have romanticized them in my mind to the point of like, could never part with them. We're on a roll. I'm going back upstairs for more. I'm so unfair. I actually keep thinking I must start using the treadmill again before I go to Hong Kong because my stamina is at an all-time low. Even like we were walking around Meadowhall the other day and I was like, I'm gonna sit down. I need to sit down. I used to be able to walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. And walk and walk and walk some more. It's gone. It's gone. I feel like I aged overnight. When we went to New York, I thought maybe it's because it's hot. Maybe it's because I'm getting hay fever. Maybe it's, I was like, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to keep, I'm going to have to go home for a rest. Crazy, crazy. I'm going to need to work on the stamina because I've just run up and downstairs twice and now I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to need a minute. Also, I don't have as many palettes left to share with you as I thought I did. I think I probably did a pretty good job the last time I did a declutter because this is just less than I thought. I mean, I have got more mini palettes to talk about now, but still. Should we talk about the blush palettes that I left out of the blush video? Because a couple of you were like, remember the palettes? And I thought I'll put this in with the eyeshadow palettes at the end. So I've only got two. Just two. And I am going to keep both of them, I can tell you in advance. One of which is because it's collectible. First of all, Becca's not available anymore. Second of all, it was the Chrissy Teigen collection. Funnily enough, I'm wearing the Becca Chrissy Teigen lip gloss that came from this exact same collection today. I loved this collection. It was beautiful. Everything that came in this was really nice. Hibiscus, I want to say it was called. Hibiscus Bloom was the blush. Beach Nectar was the highlight. Malibu Soleil was the bronzer. Oh, and there's a second highlight in rose gold. It's such a gorgeous packaging as well. So of the moment. It's kind of like a watercolor peachy granite. What a millennial pink vibe that is. And rose gold. So of the time. So yeah, absolutely not getting rid of this. And then the cheek leaders from Benefit, I was thinking, yeah, okay, this can go. Then I was looking and I thought, well, I don't have any of these because I decluttered Hoola because I kept Hoola Light. Hoola Light's the right shade for me, but I don't have Hoola anymore. So I have a little one of it in this. Tickle I don't have. California I think maybe is discontinued now. Dallas I don't have. And Dandelion I have been considering purchasing because I like that pale pink. So I think actually I'm going to keep this. Shock to everyone involved. But it's a really nice way of having 5 Benefit blushes that I now don't need to purchase. Do you know what? I'm looking at these. They're all different grams. How mad is that? I'm like, what is California? California is one of the smaller ones because that's got like an extra thing around it. How sneaky. Would you have thought these were all different volumes of products, different sizes? I would have thought they were all exactly the same. They range from 5 to 9 grams. Dallas is 9 grams. Hoola is 8. California and Tickle are 5 and Dandelion is 7. I wonder how they pick, but that's sneaky. Interesting. Anyway, I am going to keep this, so I'm just throwing them in there just so that those of you who saw that were like, you didn't talk about. Not that anyone's watching these that closely. Okay, then I want to talk about something else that I already know I'm going to keep. From back in the day, from when I first started working at Urban Decay, from 2014, it is the Book of Shadows. Do you remember they used to do the Book of Shadows? This was the first one that I was aware of. I remember the Alice in Wonderland one everyone was talking about when I first started on YouTube. It must have come out maybe the Christmas before, and it was like, oh, everyone's talking about the Alice in Wonderland palette, the Alice in Wonderland palette. And I was like, oh my God, I missed everything. I'm so late to the party, which was still relatively early to YouTube in 2010, but it was like really high of the beauty industry being like massive on YouTube. And so when I started working at Urban Decay and this came out, I had to have it immediately. You may or may not remember it. It was the Urban Decay Heart MY. And it has inside a pop-up. And the lights still work. Is this the best palette that has ever existed? I think so. I will never, ever get rid of this. Not ever, ever, never. No. Someone could offer me £1 million and I'm keeping it. And then the thing slides out of here. Oh! And when I worked at Urban Decay, obviously you had to do some interesting eyeshadow. And this was my most used palette. And given everything that I've just told you about, the shades that I am drawn to, this makes no sense. There's a lot of blue in there. I wore a lot of blue and purple. I think nail polish, we were only allowed to wear black, silver or purple nail polish. You know, you could do nail art or whatever, but you had to have something in that arena. And I think it was the same with makeup. You had to kind of be the Urban Decay colours, which were purple at the time, purple, silver, black. It was just that moment where it was rebranding to the Urban Decay logo that it is now. And it was coming away from that kind of alternative. It was trying to be a little bit more mainstream. It was about to be naked. And this, I feel like this was around the time that we got our last really cool Urban Decay stuff before it became a bit like trying to be like everything else. I think maybe we'll get a little bit more of that back. Occasionally they'll launch something fun. But I get it. They're trying to be more mainstream. Is what it is. But they did just used to be cool. Really cool. And some of these shades, oh man, maybe I need to do, maybe with some of these really old palettes, it would be fun to do like a week in an eyeshadow palette. What did we used to call it? I don't know, like 5 looks, 1 palette, something like that. And every day for a week, I'll do a different look with that palette. Would you want to see that with some like real retro stuff? That might be fun. Really take me back. I have videos of me putting on this eyeshadow from 2010, this exact palette. If anyone wants to go back and relive that moment, but this is such nostalgia, so under no circumstances is that going anywhere. The rest of these, well, there's 1 in here. Wait, there's 2 in here that are definitely staying. So let's talk about those first. And then the rest of them can all be up for debate. This is my current ultimate. The Natural Eyes from Too Faced. If I had to get rid of everything else, like if it was like everything's gone and you have to buy 1 more just to replace everything, even though this is actually not available right now, but let's pretend it is, it would be this. This is my like go-to. I can do every eye look that I want to do with it. It's got a little bit of shimmer available in there. It's got really pale, it's got really dark. Every eyeshadow look that I could possibly want to do. And Too Faced, like I said before, some of the most blendable, some of the creamiest, matte. Unfortunately, this is discontinued, but still. Too Faced in general. I don't know why they would discontinue this. It's just so disappointing. I had this in the, again, they had a cardboard one. Way back when, they had a cardboard one, and then they've made it into this plasticky one. Why? You would think that they would go the opposite way. Given the push on, we want things to be more eco-friendly. Isn't that weird? Anybody else feel that way? Or is it just me? So this is staying because it's my go-to. And then the other one, which again is not available anymore, is the Lorac Pro palette, which I would almost say I could get everything that I want from, but the tones in here are a little bit off. There's a little bit too much pink. So I can't quite do what I can do with the Natural Eyes. But before the Too Faced Natural Eyes, this was my like absolute go-to. And again, if you could purchase this again, I would. Like if something happened to this and it was available, I don't know why they would stop making this because Lorac is still a brand. Also, fun fact, Lorac is called Lorac because the founder's name is Carol. The more you know. But that was actually sent to me by a YouTube friend in America because it was never available in the UK. Okay, so they are my absolute have to stay around 100% palettes. I'm not actually keeping that many. Well, I'll show you at the end, but I'm not keeping that many. So let's get into the rest. This one I purchased from Amazon, and I know I was kind of trying to find an alternative to the Lorac that is still available and that was cheaper. And again, this was one that I purchased 100% just because I wanted to give you a cheaper alternative. I don't need to be keeping this just for me. What is this? Sleek. Ooh, this is nice. I think this came free with something. I think this was a gift with purchase. Level Up Eye Divine eyeshadow palette. Do you remember when sleek palettes were like the thing? And honestly, I don't think they were ever that great. Compared to other palettes, especially compared to other cheaper palettes now, they were never that great. They didn't blend that well. The payoff wasn't like to swatch, they were okay, but to work with, they were very like, they kind of, what's the word? Lots of fallout, like very flaky. Like they just, you put it on your eye and it like fell straight off. But this is a nice mix of shades. I don't need to keep this because I have, from everything I've shown you already that I'm keeping, I have these. But this is really nice. This is really nice. Oh, another sleek. Oh, this is the face form. Oh, do you know what? I'm keeping this. For nostalgia alone, I'm keeping this. This was the blush, the highlight, and the bronze. Everyone had it. Oh, I'm keeping it. 100%, 100%. Oh, I didn't even know I had this. Right, so I've got, oh my God, this is grim. I might have to throw this away just because it's embarrassing. I need to take some acetone to this. This is my Naked Basics palette. So, you know, like NARS, you know, like that soft touch thing, when something happens to it and it goes sticky and then it gets covered in hair. This looks like it's been buried underground. What? It's sticky. It's very sticky. Okay. This was well used. I used this a lot. I really liked this. I would consider keeping this actually, because it is a nice compact version of what I do with the Too Faced Natural Eyes. Right, I'm going to keep this and I'm going to clean it up. Oh, it's sticky on my hands now. It's sticky on my hands. I've actually got a little bit of alcohol from, I was doing candle stuff earlier, and the alcohol will get rid of, oh, I wonder if the alcohol will get rid of the stickiness. Live demo. It's totally working. Oh my God. I thought this was going to be like a nail polish remover situation. Alcohol is amazing for getting rid of like sticky residue on stuff and like cleaning things that feel like they are beyond repair. So I don't know why I didn't think of that immediately, because it was literally right in front of me. Oh! Okay, I'll do another once over, but look at that. Alcohol has many uses in our lives. The other one is Naked Sin. I think this is like a pink. And again, very plasticky. Oh no, I'm not gonna keep this one. There's too pink, and it doesn't go dark enough. It goes too pale to mid. It's not, that range is not enough for me, and pink is not great because it makes me look like I'm diseased. So that's a no. I actually feel like I had, you know, like the Naked 3 was pink, the Naked 2, what happened to that? Did I give that to someone? Is it somewhere in this house and I can't find it? Did I give it to Ella? I don't know. But this is going in the pile for people to see if they want it. Oh, I forgot I had this as well. Ooh, do you know what? When I finally finish this entire thing, I'm going to clean everything. I'm going to clean all of the makeup. Maybe that could be, would you want to clean with me? A makeup clean with me? Organize with me? I'm going to do one big drawer and you'll be able to see all of the makeup. And it's going to be so satisfying to finally be able to give you like a tour of one drawer of makeup that I love. Excited about that. So the Viseart palette, this was sent to me. It's the Neutral Mattes 01. I would not have purchased this. I remember talking about this at the time and people being like, that is so ungrateful. Basically what I was trying to say was, although I love it, I wouldn't have bought it with my own money. I think it's important to make that distinction when you're reviewing something. This is really, really good, but I don't think it's worth the money good. It could be worth the money to you, good. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'll buy something. I'm prepared to pay way over the odds. It's usually a lipstick, because I'm a real sucker for like a nice lip packaging. Tom Ford, for example, of course it's not worth whatever it is, £40, £45, whatever. Of course it's not worth £45 for a lipstick. I would buy it. I would pay £45 for a lipstick because I want it. But the distinction has to be made. It isn't £45 worth of value. I just valued it £45 because I wanted it. Do you know what I mean? And that's this. So I would not have purchased a Viseart palette because they are so expensive. Now I've had this, I might. They are really, really nice to work with. I'm gonna take back everything I've said previously and actually say, these are the nicest eyeshadows that I've ever had. I didn't think of them because I forgot I had them. But they are the nicest eyeshadows. I think that anyone with absolutely no skill whatsoever, with like the worst tools, worst everything, if you had these, you could create a really, really beautiful look. It would look blended. It would just be perfect. And I think that sometimes there is value in something being almost foolproof. You know, like you might be able to save 90% on something if you know how to use it. If you're like, yeah, but if I do it exactly like this, but someone else might be prepared to spend 90% more to just know it works. That is this. These are amazing. I can't tell you they're worth the price because I think Too Faced are fantastic. I think that Urban Decay are fantastic. But these are just a cut above, and these fall into that, like, anyone will have a wonderful time using these. Whereas Maybe the Too Faced and the Urban Decay, a couple of them might need a little bit of extra work or a little bit of extra blending. They're still absolutely amazing, but these, you're just not going to find one dud. Am I getting it across? Maybe. I think part of it, just to continue, I think part of it is I still remember when mattes were so hot. I think that's why I think of Too Faced and Urban Decay of like the very, very best, better than MAC. But the very, very best, because matte used to be the thing that I would really judge anything against. Like, if you couldn't give me a really good matte black, get out of here. Just, I'm not interested. A really good creamy matte used to be hard. Maybe it's not so hard anymore. Maybe, you know, technology has improved, ingredients have improved. But it used to be that a lot of them would be a bit powdered, a bit chalky, a bit kind of like, no, you've got to really work at it. And one that would be like really smooth, and every single one of these, and the entire palette is matte. So this, I have a soft spot for this. Of course I'm keeping this, but it is really expensive. This Old Revolution palette is an SFX palette. I feel like I should keep this because it's just a Halloween palette. I'm never going to use this on a regular basis, but do I really want to have to, ooh, is it still, no, it's still good. It's still good. I don't want to have to buy this again. And this, I can do like loads of different things with this. So I'm going to keep this. It's very specific, but it's just so I never have to buy Halloween makeup. Ooh. Oh God, I'm really, really not looking forward to doing the lip one. I think I might have to split the lip one up into like different categories, like multiple videos, because it's going to be too much for me. Because the whole video is just going to be like, oh, I forgot about this. Oh, this color is amazing. Yeah, I'm keeping this. Although all the colors are a little bit out there and they're not colors that I use all the time, this is another one of those. The colors are really, really pow. Like the pigment is amazing. Every single one, the payout is fantastic. It'll pay off. The yellow, there's something about this yellow that makes it wearable on my coloring. I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it, honestly, just for the yellow, potentially. And there's this one coral in there that I have used quite a lot. I've got three last ones to share with you. These two little snap shadows, were they called snap shadows? I don't know. They were from e.l.f. I feel, were they, oh no, that was Fenty. I decluttered those last time. Fenty was the snap shadows. These are like, they had name and I don't remember what they were. Another great example of nothing wrong with them at all, and actually really travel friendly, but I definitely I was going to say I originally purchased them to review. No, I did. I saw them. I was interested in them. I saw other people talk about them. I was interested in them for me. Like potentially as a consumer, I may have bought these, but I mostly did buy them for review. And although I did use them a fair amount, I don't feel like I need to keep them alongside everything else that I've got. But I would recommend them. I think they're really nice. And then I've got this little number 7 palette, which I maybe have used a couple of times. I think this was a freebie. It's the Matte Nudes, which I think we've gathered at this point. I might have enough of these. This might be the category I have too many things of. Okay, I think I did pretty well. This is quite a lot of palettes to declutter. I think I got rid of maybe half. Let's count them up, shall we? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus those 2 little elf ones that were in the bottom of that. Plus 2, it's 12. 10 I'm getting rid of. I am keeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but do we have to count this one? 8, 9. Oh, hang on. This one's going, so that's 11. So that's 13. And I decided to get rid of both of the little mini naked palettes because I don't need them. And then I've got 10 and 11, including the blush palettes, and then I do have a few MAC ones. What I would like to do is, I've got like lots of kind of MAC little things that you add these into. What I'd like to do is get that down to just one, like this. And then I'll keep the empties for in case I ever want to do like a little travel palette, but we'll do that as a separate video. Okay, so I did get rid of half of them. I think that's pretty good. I feel good about that. I don't care how you feel. I do care how you feel. Please validate me. Tell me I did well. 50%, I think that's pretty good. 50% of my palettes, bearing in mind I already did a declutter not so long ago, probably a year ago. And I think I already got rid of quite a lot of stuff. So I feel good about it. It's probably still too many palettes, but I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna keep using things. And if I find that I'm not reaching for things on a regular basis, or if I find that I'm using them and I'm like, I don't really like this, they can go. I'm keeping in mind now that I want less. And I'm gonna try to get into a system of, if I want to bring something in, something else gotta go. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted. But thank you for joining me for the next step in my declutter series. We're on to the last leg now. Whether it ends up being one lipstick video, or if I go into like categories, we may do like, oh, I think nudes could be its own video. But whether I do like glosses and lipsticks, or I do one big thing and it's like 3 hours long, time will tell. Let me know what you would like to see. If you've watched this long, you are my people. You tell me, how would you like me to film that video? Do you want to see it as like one epic video, or do you want to see it broken down? It's still going to be long regardless, because I really want to, I mean, really, I would like to try them all on, but that's a lot. So let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.